Hey YouTube, welcome back to Griffin Grills. Today we're going to be doing a beer can chicken. I found this little apparatus that you can put a beer can in and set your chicken standing straight up on it and cook it like that. And the moisture from inside the can comes from the inside of the chicken and radiates out to keep your meat moist. At least that's the theory behind the piece of equipment. So we're going to try it out today and see how well it works. If you're not a fan of beer, you can also use a Coke can and just put water in it, or chicken broth if you want a little extra flavor. If you do decide to use beer, like we will be doing for the recipe today, it's probably best to stick with a lighter colored beer, something like an ale. If you do a stout or a bock, like a darker beer like Guinness or something like that, it could alter the flavor just a little bit, so it's best to err on the side of caution. So let's go ahead and go down and take a look at our chicken. We're also going to be doing an injection with some leftover Creole butter from our turkey video that we used the last time. And then we're going to season it up, get it on the apparatus on the grill, and show you how we're going to have to grill the chicken, because with a Weber the common problem is that grate is right at the lid level, so you don't have a whole lot of extra room when you go to put the lid on. I believe when I did the turkey video that I posted last time, we only had about an inch of clearance between the lid and the meat. So what we're going to be doing for today is we're actually going to remove the center grate on the grill and put the apparatus right down at the bottom where the charcoal grate is, and then set it up that way so we can put our lid on. We'll also be going over the snake method, which is what you can do for Weber's. It's a way you line the charcoal around the outside edge and just light a few briquettes, and then the fire will travel in a ring all the way around the grill. Plus it gives it a little even cooking, because that heat source is going to be moving around your food, cooking it all the way around. At least that's the plan, so we're going to see how it works. But right now let's go ahead and start with injecting this chicken and getting it seasoned up. Alright, so here we are with our chicken. I've already took it out of the package and removed the bag of gizzards that usually comes with it, and went ahead and cleaned it up, washed it off, got all that purge off that comes in the plastic. That's some really nasty stuff and can carry a lot of bacteria if you're not careful, so it's best when you get a piece of meat that's been in plastic with fluid to go ahead and give it a good rinse off. Dry it down with some paper towels before you start messing with it, because you don't want to spread contamination throughout your kitchen or your kitchen surfaces. So we got our Creole butter here that we're just going to inject into the chicken. We're also going to use a little bit of this butter on the outside to help our Creole seasoning stick to the chicken. This is real easy to do. You're just going to find the breast parts of the meat, stick the needle down in, and you'll see it bulge up a little bit, kind of like a blister. And that's what you want. You're just going to stick it around in different places, just getting as much of that butter in there to the meat as possible. And you can do this in multiple places. You'll notice here I'm doing kind of a three-prong attack. I'll take the butter, and when I come in, I'll come in like, say, running left to right, inject a little bit of butter, then I'll bring it out and go straight down, inject some butter, and then I'll come back out and go right to left, injecting some more. And a little bit will come out from time to time. Like I said, we're going to use this as a kind of binder to hold our spices on, so if some of it does happen to come back out, that's really not going to be a big deal for us. You want to make sure you hit the thighs too, that way you get all that buttery goodness everywhere. You can also brine the chicken, like I said, the night before, if you want to help that flavor just kind of adhere in and keep it moist. We didn't really have time for that today. We were just doing kind of an off-the-cuff dinner idea, so we didn't actually have time to brine it. We're just going to take some paper towels and blotch on some of the Creole butter and just work it all around the skin so it's got a nice sticky quality to it when we go to put our spices on, so it'll hold on. And even though we're going to stand the chicken up vertically in our cooker, I'm still going to blotch the paper towel and rub some on the inside of the chicken as well. We're going to cover the back side. Normally, for presentation's sake, I usually try to keep a side that's going to be my side facing up, and that's going to be the presentation side where that'll look the best, because whenever you set it down on the grates are going to cause marks on one side or the other. But with this being a vertical cook standing straight up, we want to make sure that we got flavor and seasoning 360 degrees around this chicken. Alright, so now we're going to come back and hit it with some Creole seasoning. And I would err on the side of caution with this. Sometimes the Creole seasoning especially can be kind of a lot to take in at once. So you just want a light dusting. We want flavor everywhere, but we don't want it to be too overpowering. Alright, that is looking pretty good, so we're going to go ahead and get it out on the smoker now, set it up on our apparatus that we've got to install our beer can in, and we'll start this thing cooking with the snake method. So let me take you outside now, and I'm going to run you through how to set up the snake method, and also show you the apparatus that we got to hold our beer can. Alright, so here we are outside at the grill, and I just want to run through the setup real quick because we're using a cooking method on the Weber today that I've never used on this channel before. I have used it in regular cooking, just not on film. What this is it's called the snake method, and the reason that is you have 2 rows of briquettes stacked along each other, going all the way around in a circle with our wood chunks up top. And then we have our chimney starter that has a little tumbleweed fire starter there. You can also use paraffin wax cubes if that's easier for you. And we're just going to light these in the starter and let them get burning hot. And then we'll dump them in over here on the side that's open where our wood starts. And this will actually burn slowly all the way around and cook our chicken. And this little device I picked up for about $4. They're pretty cheap. You just take your can and you can set it right inside there, and it helps to get that moisture running through it. With this style of cooking, you can use beer. You can also use a Coke can and some water if you're not into beer, and it just helps to keep the chicken moist while it's cooking from the inside out. So we're gonna go ahead and light up our charcoal. And then once it gets burning hot, we'll dump it in there, bring our chicken back out, put it on our setup, and then just let the lid down and let it go until it's done. Alright, so first thing we're going to do to start off this cook, I took the beer in our apparatus and we're just going to pour some of it out. Just to give it a little bit of an air void. You can either drink it or pour it out. We're just going to pour it out for today. Set that right down there. And let's go ahead and add our charcoal so we don't get ash all over the food when we bring it in. If some ash goes down inside the beer can, that's no big deal. now that we got that charcoal down and it's red hot, we're just gonna take a couple of pieces of wood and set them right on there. That way they can start catching. And we're gonna get this chicken on the can. I put a pie pan down in here for two reasons. One, to catch any kind of juices that might come out so it doesn't dirty up my grill. And the other, I'm hoping it'll work as kind of a heat barrier to keep too much heat from getting to the bird. We want it to sit up as straight as possible. That's kind of going to be hit or miss. We do have the legs pointed back to give it kind of more stability. You got the two ends of the legs here, along with the point on this end kind of flattened out. So it gives it kind of a stable platform to sit on. We will be running a temperature probe in the chicken. Just like we did with our turkey, we want to avoid hitting any bones and get it between the top layer of skin and the actual rib cage, kind of in the center of the meat as best you can get. That way we can monitor it and make sure we got good cooking temperatures. We will also check it with a probe thermometer once it's coming up saying that it's done, just to kind of double check our temperatures and make sure they're good. So we're going to go ahead and put the lid down on it now. And normally I run a probe on the grate so I know what my pit temperature is, but I don't really have anything to put it on now. So what we may do is just put it inside of the foil pan. Kind of over here toward the back side of the chicken. As best you can without it touching. It's going to be a little harder than I thought, so we'll just put it on the outside of the pan. And that's different. There we go, we just got it sitting on the actual charcoal grate. It's about 2 inches from the fire, so it's gonna read a little hotter, but it should be okay. And we're gonna make sure we got our vents completely away from the source of the fire. So if we start our fire on this end, we want our vents on the complete opposite side so all that air travels this way across the meat. We probably will have to move this around as the fire moves, so probably about every 15 to 20 minutes I'm gonna come out and check the fire and see where it's at, and then we'll adjust the lid to where the vent is parallel with the fire. So let's let this go for right now, and we'll be back to check on it here in about 20 or 30 minutes. Alright, here we are back inside. The cook took a little longer than I expected. It took about 5.5 hours to cook a 6-pound chicken. So we are going to go ahead and slice into it, and I will take an initial taste and let you know what I think. So let me go ahead and start carving this bird. The juices are running clear. Still looks pretty juicy. We're going to go ahead and just pull off a piece here and get a taste of it. You can definitely tell there's some Creole seasoning, but it's not anything too overpowering. I have some picky eaters in my household that don't like a lot of spice, and I think they would even enjoy this. So if you feel like this is a recipe that you might want to try at your house, certainly go for it. Like I said, the little attachment that I used to put the beer can in was about $4 at Walmart, so they're relatively inexpensive. It's not like you need a lot of equipment to do a cook like this. Just if you're planning on doing one yourself, go ahead and give yourself plenty of time to get it cooked. You can always cook it and have it resting, and if you need to, heat it back up like in an oven. But definitely you don't want to be on a time crunch, because this is a cook that's going to take you a little bit to do. So go ahead and try this one at home. Subscribe to the channel and share with your friends. That would greatly help out the channel, and we'll hopefully see you again on another video.